We got Kyle Rowland here to join us. He's been on top of this Jason Candle, the UConn news the whole time. Used to cover Jason when he was at the Toledo Blade. Now he's working for NILwire.com. So Kyle, really appreciate you hopping on with me on a Saturday here to break this down.
Absolutely. Exciting news for UConn, no doubt.
Yeah, so let's start just with some kind of high level thoughts from your end on Coach Candle, the job he did at Toledo.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. Obviously won a lot. Won two conference titles, went to another conference championship game. Talent-wise, just off the charts, in my opinion. Produced, God, I want to say maybe 13 draft picks and,
Wow.
and a lot of high-end draft picks. Obviously, Quinyon Mitchell gets tons of attention.
Yep.
First-round pick a couple years ago. They had a top 100 pick last year in Darius Alexander. This year, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, a safety, probably going to be a second-round draft pick, but potentially a first-round draft pick. He's had the last three classes, including the one that was just signed on Wednesday,
Yeah.
the three highest-ranked classes in the history of the MAC. At one point, he had the highest-ranked G5 class in history. Wow. So, the guy's an unbelievable recruiter. I think he's a great program builder. I think he's a great culture builder. UConn obviously has done well these last few years. 2 9-win seasons under Jim Mora, but I think talent-wise, I think Jason will kind of take it to another level.
Yeah, when you look at the job he's done here at Toledo, just year in, year out, just consistently, towards the top of the MAC here. What do you think has made his teams just so consistently good during his time here at Toledo?
What's interesting, in the beginning, it was heavily offensive based, I think was why. Now, the offense is still good, and he's an offensive guy, but the defense has been so good these last few years with Vince Karras, the defensive coordinator, who I assume will not be joining Jason because he's going to have, number one, he could be the Toledo head coach, but he's also going to have some pretty high level power conference coordinator options. But that shouldn't be a worry to UConn fans. I think Jason will build out a good staff. But I just think it's been a combination of good players, good coaching. I know that, that's kind of what happens for good teams. There's an unbelievably strong culture with Toledo football. And I know that's kind of like a cliche and a buzzword or whatever, but it's the truth. I've just seen it firsthand for so many years here. These guys come back. Quinyon Mitchell, he could have trained in Florida or Arizona or whatever for the NFL draft. He stayed at Toledo with their strength coach, Brad Bichet, who I assume Jason would want to take with him to UConn. So these guys are always back. Kareem Hunt is on the sidelines at Toledo games throughout the year. There's a bond, and they trust Jason. He's a guy who believes so much in relationships, and they're real. I see him interact with these guys. I see him, text or talk on the phone with players and past players. And he takes that kind of mentorship role, very, very serious. And I think when you have that, brotherhood or whatever you want to call it, it's real and tangible in the locker room, and players want to play hard for coaches like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, what would the players, what kind of words would they use to describe Coach Candle and what it's been like to play for him?
Yeah, I would assume it's similar to what players would say about Gino and Dan Hurley. I'm sure they love those guys. That's how people are about Jason with their player. They nothing but amazing comments. That's how he got the job at Toledo. He obviously was qualified to get the job, but a huge group of players. I could send you that story. I wrote a story about it a few years ago.
Yeah.
They went to Toledo's AD and were like, listen, it wasn't like a straight up coup, but they were listen, you need to promote.
He's the guy. Yeah.
Needs to take over when Matt Campbell left for Iowa State. So that just is kind of evidence of how much they like the guy and how much they believe in him. And I've heard some from former players the past 24 hours, since this news came out, and there's a real, relationship there.
When you come to look at his staff, because I know you brought them some names up a little bit earlier. How do you see this maybe shaking out? Do you think he's bringing a lot of guys with him? How do you see that angle of this thing?
Yeah, great question. I don't have super insight into it right now. I mean, he's going to want to bring his guy. He's an incredibly loyal person, which I think is a good quality. I mean, I guess at times it can be bad, but super loyal guy. I mean, basically everyone on his staff has been with him for almost all 10 years.
That says a
So
lot in today's football environment.
yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, the continuity at Toledo is especially for a G5 program is pretty wild. Obviously a lot of those guys are Midwest kind of Ohio based guys. I mean, he's not going to take everyone with him, but I mean, I like Ross Watson, the safeties coach, and he's kind of had a code DC tag. I mean, he is like a ball of energy, charisma, great coach, great player developer. Like he's someone I would assume Jason would want to bring.
Okay.
I mean, wide receivers coach maybe. It's honestly hard to speculate. I think there would be a lot of guys that he would want to bring, but I mean, I'm sure he's going to want to get some Northeast guys. I'm not super familiar with like what the recruiting ground is for Connecticut. Like, do they recruit Florida heavily?
Yeah, they do try to get him.
I mean, Jason's Florida roots are like really, really deep, especially the Tampa St. Pete area. I mean,
okay.
So many good Toledo players have come from Tampa St. Pete. I mean, he's like, if you want to do a story, talk around today, call some Tampa St. Pete high school coaches today, and they'll tell you how much they love Jason Candle.
All right. It's obviously a big recruiting hotspot when you think about where you're looking for guys. So good to see that. One thing that I find really interesting about Jason is that he's been, an Ohio guy through and through. Have there been other opportunities for him to make the jump? And why do you think maybe at this stage he was ready to make the jump to a school like UConn?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely been opportunities, especially offensive coordinator. I mean, twice he turned down Miami. I think 2022 and 23. I forget the years. They all kind of run together. So turned that down twice. I mean, he's interviewed for a lot of head coaching job, been candidates, has turned a few of those down as well. I mean, I think a lot of people would be surprised how good of a situation Toledo is. I mean, even though it's a group of five school, I mean, they invest heavily in football. The fans care. I mean, it's a passionate place. I mean, it's a good job. I mean, people will probably say like, who cares about like Toledo, Ohio? It's a great place to live. I promise. Like the people who live here love it. A lot of things to do here. He's got a lake house in Michigan that's cool. It's not far away. So like the quality of life was definitely good. So that played into it. He had young kids in school, whatever.
Okay.
Why now? I mean, he was the head coach for 10 years. He was here 7 years before that. 17 years at one place, I think, is a long time. I mean, sometimes it's just time to move on. I mean, obviously, he's going to get paid more at UConn. It's not a bad situation. I think it's a great situation, honestly, because, I mean, they're showing that they do want to not just have a football program. They want to have a successful football program.
Definitely.
I mean, I thought the Jim Mora hire was great when they made that, and they've shown they've invested in football. I think they're going to continue to invest. I think he'll have all the resources to win there. So I think it's attractive for that reasons. And I mean, if he has the ambitions, which I assume he does, of being a power conference coach, I mean, this is a stepping stone where he can do that. I mean, I know people sometimes are sensitive to that. You don't want to think of yourself as like a stepping stone job, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like that means your program is good.
Exactly.
Stepping stone. Like, because Toledo people get sensitive about that sometimes, but it's like, you're only a stepping stone if you can like win at that place.
Right. Like, I was having this conversation.
Yeah, not trying to talk bad about Akron, but just for example, like that ain't a stepping stone job. Like, so yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of positives about the UConn job. And it's funny. I mean, I don't know, 5-6 days ago, when it came open or whenever it came open, I had conversations with some other people. I was like, you know what? Like, I think that the UConn job is like perfect for Jason Candle. Like, I think that is like the job where he could really succeed. And I mean, he's such a good program builder, and he doesn't necessarily have to build because obviously they've been good, but you're in the portal era now, so you're kind of always building. I just think it's a great situation for him. I'm fascinated to see how he does.
I think that's a perfect segue into what I was going to ask next, because I wanted to get into the portal a little bit, because that's really the new way here of college football. How has he handled the portal at Toledo, both in terms of being able to bring guys in, but it also seems like he's done a great job of retaining guys at Toledo and them not going into the portal. So I think that's a major plus from a coaching perspective, especially at a level in the MAC and similarly at UConn here.
Toledo's ability to retain has been remarkable. I mean, numerous, I've written stories about it. I mean, they've had numerous guys in the last 3 years. I mean, in the portal era that literally, I mean, could have gone to Big Ten schools and made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, Nick Saban was on the NFL draft saying how we tried to get Quinyon Mitchell to come to Alabama and he wouldn't leave. I mean, that's mind-boggling to think. And part of that comes from they like it at Toledo and they're loyal to Toledo. Part of it comes from like the relationship aspect, which we talked about earlier. Like the guys love Candle. They don't want to leave him. And part of it comes from Toledo has resourced to the point where they're obviously not like matching these other schools, but they're giving them enough that it's worth staying. So that's part of what UConn needs to do. They need to step up and have the resources where they can keep some of these guys. But then getting guys out of the portal, I mean, they've also done a really good job at that. Like just on this year's team, Chip Trainum, who best player on the team, transfer running back from Ohio State and Kentucky. Like they identified it, they got him. Bunch of defensive players. That, you know, a tight end who's done great, a wide receiver. I mean, they got Northern Illinois, one of their all-time leading wide receivers, transferred for his 5th year to Toledo this year, that's kind of an insane thing, but that's just the way they've been able to do it. So, I mean, I would have no concerns if I were Connecticut about, you know, you're always going to lose some guys because it just happens, but I mean, the relationships that Jason will develop, they'll be genuine, and I think he'll be good on both sides of the portal, and then getting high school talent as well.
The next thing I wanted to jump into a little bit, just given how much experience you have in covering Jason, is
one more thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm completely interrupting you, but
no, go for it.
Another thing, like his ability to kind of identify talent as well, like, you know, 0-star type players and then build them into, I mean, a lot of the guys who have been draft picks at Toledo, or even that went on to be like undrafted free agents or just all MAC players, like Toledo was like their only offer for a lot of those guys, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I think he's definitely got a great eye, on someone who no one really wants, and he can visualize like, this is what we can do with them, and this is how he can fit in on our team. So sorry to interrupt.
No, and I think that's a great point, because I think that's something that UConn has had some success with in the past. You know, when you look at Randy Edsall's first stint here, back when UConn was in the Big East, he did a great job at identifying some of those types of players. So I think to see that that's a strength of Jason's, I think will be a big plus for UConn fans. And
it's something you would need to do at a school like UConn as well.
Yeah, like exactly. I know a lot of UConn fans might not be familiar with Toledo football. Take us through just the style of play from a Coach Candle team. I know, you know, both offensively and defensively, I know he comes with that offensive background. So I guess we could start with that side of things.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, he wants to, I would say, like, extend the field. Explosive plays, like that's like always kind of been a big Candle thing. It seems like he's always got a very, I don't know, flashy, a wide receiver who can extend things. But that being said, it's kind of like the whole spread offense thing. People always think like, oh, you're known for passing or whatever, like the quarterbacks at Toledo, but the running back, I mean, it all starts with the run game. Like Jason wants to have a great run game. Their offense just is dynamite when they have a good run game. It all stems from there. We're going, I mean, obviously Kareem Hunt is a name that people in Connecticut are going to be familiar with. They're not going to know the other Toledo running backs, but I mean, a lot of the best or most productive, running backs in Toledo history, they've been since Jason's been the head coach. So it's not like this is some, throw it 50 times a game offense. I mean, does Jason love quarterbacks? Does he love throwing the ball? Yes. But it all starts with the run game. So, I mean, it's so hard to define offenses now kind of in this era, but I mean, I don't know. He wants to be balanced, but very good at running and throwing. They use the tight ends a lot, especially in the red zone.
Okay.
If you go, I mean, their tight ends score a lot of touchdowns. I think he's always been good at that. The one thing that Jason and I always butt heads on and joke about is drives me nuts how very rarely will he go under center and run a quarterback sneak on 4th and 1. Drives me nuts. And it's somewhat ironic because you'll learn all about this now. So he and Nick Sirianni
I was just going to say,
they're a college roommate
push guy. So
yeah, they're college roommates and everything.
Yeah.
So I always tell him, like, Jason, like, come on, like you gotta run the sneak, gotta do the tush push. But yeah, he's always been anti be behind center on 4th and 1.
All right. But now take us to the flip side on kind of the defensive side of things, because I know you said of late, especially, it seems like defense has picked up with his teams.
Yeah. I mean, the hallmark, I don't know, last 5 years, I would say, is a really, really good secondary. I mean, impossible to throw on, really. I mean, it's been a game changer. I mean, it's like, if you can't throw the ball, like you just got problems. And then you can obviously, their D line is generally pretty productive, physical. They get into the backfield. Linebackers have at times been kind of the defensive weakness, not like some glaring issue, I would say. But I mean, the defensive stats this year are just out of this world. If you look nationally, I mean, they basically are in the top 10 in every defensive stat nationally. Vince Karras is Broyles Award finalist. But yeah, I mean, really strong in the back end and the front, I would say.
All right. I think UConn fans listening to this are going to be pretty excited about what's to come here. I
think it's an absolute grand slam hire for UConn. I mean, to get a coach of this caliber, it'd be odd to be unhappy. I would say if you're a UConn fan.
And I think we'll ease them into things a little bit, because I think there's 2 MAC teams on the schedule next year, so we'll get some familiar opponents.
I mean, he owns Miami, Ohio. So
okay, there we go, and that's one of them. So there we go. I know we've talked a lot of great things about Coach Candle. Anything that maybe gave fans some reserve about him in his styles or anything like that UConn fans kind of should have in the back of their mind
typical fan stuff. I mean, any game they lost was the end of the world. But no, I mean, the biggest issue was, I don't know. I mean, he lost. It's the last, I forget. I mean, he has like the most losses as a double-digit favorite in like the past 5 years or whatever. And that was always like the criticism. I mean, they would sometimes lay eggs, but I just think it's hard to. I mean, there were some losses that Jason would tell you, like, they're ridiculous. They messed up or whatever. I do think it's harder when. I know Toledo, statistically maybe has the most talent in the MAC or what this and that, but it is just still hard at the G5 level to I don't know, play. Your players just aren't as good. Like, that's not like a diss to Toledo or whatever, that level, but like, it's just a fact. Like, your roster is not as good as like Ohio State and Georgia's rosters, and you're not as deep. So like, you're more prone to having poor games or not playing. You know what I mean? Like, other teams can overcome all that stuff, and they generally don't play poorly ever. But I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, fans would get mad. I mean, they would say they should have won, 4 or 5 titles instead of 2 or things like that. But I, I mean, whatever. I
No,
mean,
I,
so
I,
some of the complaints are valid. I think Jason's good. I think he's going to do well. He's a great guy. I mean, he's yeah.
yeah.
I think people will like him.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I think we've seen our fair share of things like that at UConn. It's a team that went out there and beat Duke this year, but then lost to Rice and Delaware teams that
Yeah,
the fans
exactly,
think they
exactly.
should beat
Yeah,
it. It
yeah.
happens to all these
It
teams.
happens. Yeah, but
Yeah,
like consistency. I think. Yeah, I don't know the expectations of UConn fans or whatever. Obviously, I mean, incredible at men's and women's basketball.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if Jason's necessarily going to be able to get UConn to like 11-1 and
yeah.
in playoff contention. I don't know how realistic that is, but I mean, I think he's going to do really well. He's going to win as much or more than he did at Toledo.
Yeah, no, I think that sets things up at a very nice level there. I know in this day and age too, with portal and everything, we've already seen some guys show interest in joining Coach Moore at Colorado State. Do you see any of these Toledo guys that you kind of are keeping an eye on that might end up at UConn?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there will be people that leave. I mean, it'd be stunning if 0 players
Yeah.
followed him. I mean, Caleb Osborne is a redshirt freshman quarterback. He's really, really freaking good. He's going to be a stud. Like, if I were UConn, I would want him. Braden Alls is a safety veteran guy. He's actually from Toledo.
Okay.
He would be a great piece for their defense next year. There's several guys, but those two like are the ones that stick out that like could lay a foundation and be like leaders and like they're already Candle guys and everything.
Definitely.
But I mean, I think for sure that there'll be guys that follow him, no doubt.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kyle, I really appreciate you hopping on here last minute here on a Saturday with this breaking news here about Coach Candle coming to UConn. I think anyone who's listening to this, I know I'm certainly even more excited about this hire than I was just a couple hours ago this morning when the news officially broke. So, Kyle, I really appreciate it. I think it's going to be some exciting times in Connecticut and really appreciate you giving us the insight that you have into Coach Candle and his system here.
Yeah, appreciate it. Happy to talk anytime.